Hi everyone, I'm coming on quickly to address Alexandra Rodriguez's copyright striking spree that she went on this week that has totally shaken up the reaction video world and taken it by storm. This is just going to be a quick video. It's not a reaction video. And as I posted here on my channel, I actually didn't have time this week to do any reactions, and it just kind of happened that this coincided with these striking sprees. So I did not get a strike, and that isn't why I'm not posting. I just don't have a lot of time this week, but I did want to come on and just share my thoughts. Now, I took this from her Instagram, but don't worry, this is transformative. I'm going to be commenting on it and critiquing it. She says that she won't fall for reading negative comments, but it seems that she's gone even a step further than just reading negative comments, but she's seeking out reaction channels for which she's going to copyright strike. Now, in all fairness, I'm sure it's not that hard for Alex to find the reaction videos about her on YouTube. You simply have to search her name, search the tags, whatever. And in all honesty, the reaction channels on her are seemingly growing by the day. Still, there is a level of intentionality behind this. You have to actively seek it out and issue the copyright strike. Either you have to do it yourself, which it seems she might have done through her company LTBF Consulting or whatever it was called, and also through her own management company, so she may have instructed them to do that as well. I've been trying to keep up with this situation as it's been unfolding over the last day or so, catching glimpses of YouTube videos here and there when I can. So from what I glean, those are the two entities that have issued the copyright strikes, and they have done it to at least 5 or 6 channels that I can think of. I did not get the strike. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm also not, unhappy about that because I don't want to have to deal with that. But it is surprising that she's gone for a whole range of reactors. She went for some of the more obvious grabs, of course, and then she's gone for a couple smaller channels and channels that don't only make content about her. Their videos are a bit more few and far between, whereas there's channels, admittedly, like my own, that are pretty much dedicated to Alexandra reaction videos. I always thought that appealing a copyright strike was a bit difficult and YouTube wasn't the most helpful, but it does seem that a lot of these channels have already had the strikes reversed, and so I'm quite happy for them about that. And I hope that whoever has issued these strikes, allegedly, in my opinion, Alex herself, learns a lesson in abusing the copyright strike system. It's really fucking uncool, and it just isn't a good look on her. Well, I'd love to sit and try to question and understand her motives and her approach in who she struck and who she didn't and why they've done it now and seemingly all at once. I don't think that that's really going to get me anywhere. I think what we can all agree on is that Alex is trying to control a narrative and doesn't like the amount of heat that she's getting. She's got a lot of people making content about her, a lot of people calling out the BS, and a lot of folks are catching on to her lore and her drama. Now, I have included the fair use section of the United States copyright law on the screen, which allows folks to use portions of original copyrighted content in order to transform it through providing commentary, critique, parody, and so on. Now, most, if not all, reactors, including myself, include this disclaimer in their videos or in their description of their videos. They may even repeat certain parts of it while they are filming their content. One thing I will say, and I will admit to, is that there is this part of fair use that restricts the amount that you can use of the original content, but it's not very well defined. Basically, it's saying that someone cannot use the entirety of the work in their content. But like I said, it does feel a bit vague and perhaps some opportunity for a loophole there. But I am not a lawyer by any means, and especially not a copyright lawyer or copyright expert. So I, like some other channels, do react pretty much to the entirety of her vlogs. I do speed up the vlogs and fast forward through certain parts in an effort to only share and react to the portions of the vlog that I am choosing to provide my own transformative commentary and criticism of. While I do wonder if there's an argument to be made for reacting to an entire vlog of hers without infringing on fair use, I'm just not an expert enough to know the ins and outs of that. Her lifestyle that she vlogs and she chooses to share is her brand. That's how she's making money. That's how she's getting views. So I just feel like it's not unreasonable then for somebody to be able to react to that entire vlog. However, that's just a really high level summary of my thinking. I have like a better argument in my head, but I'm not going to get into all of that in this video. With that being said, moving forward, I may have to change up a bit of how I react. While I like to do blind reactions and have it be a bit more authentic that way, and reduce the amount of editing I have to do, I may need to watch it in advance and just choose the parts that I really would like to react to and stitch that together. Now, I wanted to wrap up by sharing my thoughts on what I personally would do if I were in Alexandra Rodriguez or any other content creator's shoes and were considering copyright striking a bunch of reaction channels that were calling me out. This is strictly hypothetical of what I would do in that case. Number 1, I'd eat some grilled chicken and maybe that would help me lose about 100 to 200 pounds. Number 2, I would spend time with my child. I know personally my child is something that I had hoped, prayed, and craved for a long time. Number 3, I would call my own father. My father is a lot easier and cheaper to reach now that he's out of prison. I can call him anytime and there's no charges associated with it. Number 4, I would consider speaking with my therapist to understand what exactly is triggering me so much about these reaction videos. A lot of times I find that we get upset when we're confronted with things that we actually believe are the truth about ourselves. And who better than a professional to help me figure that out and learn some helpful and healthy coping strategies? If I wanted to go with a more stoic approach, I would go with my 5th option, which is just to let them. If all else fails, there's number 6, touch grass. I would have to go touch some grass and maybe start to realize that all of my problems are of my own doing. And perhaps the feedback that I'm getting is valid and brought on by my own actions and bullshittery that I'm putting out into the internet. So again, that's just what I personally would do in this situation instead of copyright striking a bunch of channels. That's just a brief summary of my thoughts on Copyright Gate. I will hopefully be back on Sunday with a new video and I will see you then. Bye.